Hello everyone and welcome to episode 80 of the WMMA 5 series here on the channel. It's Pride FC in the year 2007. It's Pride FC Worldwide 7 is the show. Frank Shamrock versus Lee Murray is the main event. And before we get into that show though, we do have a good bit of pieces of mail. I want to say only 9 pieces. Never mind. Kazuo Masaki was Kazuo Masaki who shocked the world in fucking Bellator when he upset Paul Daly when he was like probably plus 650 underdog. Was and on his final fight too, went out like a fucking savage. As right now he is 12-8, not bad, not a bad record at all. Right now we got him in rings to see what he can do. As Fabio Maldonado has left Who's Tudo. Our first female fighter signed, Michelle Watterson, the Karate Hottie, who is should be in SmackDown right now. Yep, and so that's trying to get that roster bigger and bigger before we unload the women's division into Pride FC. So we'll see. I'm assuming she'll do very very well, as I don't see her not succeeding in SmackDown. We signed Ricardo Almeida as Ricardo Almeida is 11-7. He just came off of beating Hoy Rivera and David Loazo at American Legion, just local shows. He had a kind of a shitty stint in the UFC. Looks like he went 1-4 rather. He's beaten Melvin Manhoff though. He's lost to Andre Semenov and Flavio Luis Mora. So I mean, he's lost to some guys in Pride FC, but he's also beaten some guys in Pride FC. So that's especially Melvin Manhoff, a man who has really been on a tear as of late. So that is a very high-profile win. We're going to keep him in Pride FC for right now. He's got a killer guillotine choke. And, being a high-level jiu-jitsu guy in the middleweight division, too. I mean, he's got his own camp, obviously, as you see there. He's going to probably be a problem. He's coming in with a lot of momentum, too. Look for him to make some waves in the middleweight division. If I had to guess, Fabio Maldonado leaving, of course, Who's Valley Tuna. He's joined WMMA Jiu-Jitsu. Wes Shivers, a tough 10 alumnus. His stats are pretty bad, so we just put him in Pride FC, or in Rings, rather, as he is a tall-ass heavyweight, big to, former football guy, but I think if he had kind of the stamina to, keep going throughout, even he was getting blown up in, 3 5-minute rounds, so having 1 10-minute round and 2 5s, that's going to be tough on him. Having an extra 5-minute round, I don't think he's going to do very good, if I had to guess. And in rings, but he'll just be there for a cup of coffee, lose to a couple of heavyweights, and probably be on his way. So Gerard Musasi did have a broken nose, so that is tough. As did Bigfoot Silva, and their fights. And then we signed Ben Saunders, the former, I want to say, it was King of the Cage. Oh no, it was Pancrase welterweight champion. As big, can do the high kicks. He looked for him to with his Jet Kwon Do. A stand-up guy in the welterweight division is going to be interesting because obviously there's a lot of guys in that welterweight division that are true wrestlers. Matt Hughes and even Damian Maia is just a high-level jiu-jitsu guy. But really, as far as like stand-up guys, it's not obviously Dennis Hallman, the champion. There's some high-level wrestlers in the welterweight division. So if he can come in there with his Jeet Kune Do and somehow get knockouts, with head kicks, that would be highly impressive. As far as his track record, really he's lost to Josh Koscheck. That's probably about his only fight that I would see. Would be like that's a big time fight for him. I mean, I don't expect a whole lot for Ben Saunders. I expect him to be kind of on the lower end of the card. But figured he was available, so signed him up from Pancrase. As I was trying to think who else. Looks like Rings just signed somebody randomly. That should be fun. Alright, so let's go on to the show. It's Frank Shamrock versus Lee Murray, of course, the main event. Cristiano Marciello taking on Gleison Tebow in the co-main. Heath Herring taking on Don Fry in the heavyweight fight. Kazuki Fujita and Roman Savachka in another heavyweight fight. 2 heavy wrestlers. That should be kind of like the Don Fry Heath Herring fight, which back to back. Obviously, Don Fry's got some hammer in his fucking hands, but I don't, I expect him actually to beat Heath Herring. It's Shinya Aoki and Katsuya Inoue, And then Mike Quick Swick and Drew Fickett open up the show. And then the prelims, Giichi Kunamoto versus Jae-Suk Lim, and Ryan Healy versus Nate Diaz. And an interesting lightweight fight as with Frank Shamrock and Lee Murray. Frank Shamrock and Lee Lightning Murray. This is going to be the 5th time Frank Shamrock is main event at a Pride event, as they're both world-ranked light heavyweights. Shamrock is 11th, and Lee Murray is 20th. Murray trains at the Pit. Shamrock has an overall record of 0-1 against other current members of that team. Lee Murray has won 3 of his last 5 fights by decision. Now, no matter what happens in this fight, Lee Murray's already doing better in this universe than he did IRL. As, just Lee Murray, in case you don't know about Lee Murray. Lee Murray, in February of 2006, him and his cohorts hijacked 53 million euros from a warehouse in one of the biggest heists in probably European history. Unreal. And even before then, when he was in the UFC, after UFC 38, happened in London, him and Tito Ortiz had a street fight outside a nightclub, which also saw a lot of, obviously, UFC fighters were out that night. Like Matt Hughes was there, Pat Miletich was there, Chuck Liddell was there, and Chuck Liddell knocked out like 5 guys from what everybody has concurred. Lee Murray says he knocked out Tito, but everyone kind of denies that. Lee Murray later on that year would get stabbed, and I want to say it was London, might have been somewhere else in the United Kingdom, but I want to say it was London, and basically had to, the doctors, once he finally got to the hospital, got rushed to the hospital, they had to do a life-saving surgery, but with that life-saving surgery, he could not fight again, so that was the end of his career, which I think led into him fucking thinking, I need some money, going them down probably a deep, dark path. And, Dana White said he is the scariest guy that's ever been on the roster as far as just, like, legit, like, scary, like, you do not want to fuck with that man type of energy that Lee Murray has, which is crazy. It is just as far as somebody to have that type of career to go into, what an interesting life Lee Murray has had. And for this fight, though, he's got the Blurcat staff picks 4-3 in Lee Murray's favor, which is crazy to think he can maybe defeat a former middleweight champion. Just kind of shows you what type of career maybe Lee Lightning Murray could have had he not had such a terrible outside the octagon life. It's Cristiano Marciello taking on Gleison Tibau. As Marciello trains at Paresta, Gleison Tibau has a record of 0-1 against other members of that team. Cristiano Marciello is the 7th ranked lightweight in Pride FC, which Gleison Tibau is the 21st, which is crazy to think about. I mean, obviously Gleison Tibau in the lightweight Grand Prix went on a fucking tear, as Gleison Tibau and Cristiano Marciello have won 3 of the last 5 fights by decision. As Gleison Tibau, 4-2 in Pride FC. He's beaten Diego Tavares and Yeats Edwards, so he's coming off a 2-fight winning streak, even though they've been very poor fights. Really hasn't had a good fight this entire time in Pride FC. Maybe he can change that, kind of like how we did in Cage Warriors and King of the Cage. But it's so far, it has not gone his way in Pride FC. Cristiano Marciello, 1-1 in Pride FC. He's took on Josh Thompson right out of the gate, which that's a tough fight for anybody. Josh Thompson, high-level lightweight, beat Pat Healy at Pride FC Worldwide 2. And now he's taking on Gleison Tibau, which I wouldn't count on Gleison Tibau. I know they got it skewed to have Cristiano Marciello probably have the win. I just don't see it happening. I think Gleison Tibau, just the way he fights and the way he can just lay on top of people and just take them down to the ground again and again, he is someone to look out for anytime that you step in the ring with him. As but if maybe Cristiano Marciello can get a big time win over Gleison Tibau. It's the Texas Crazy Horse, Heath Herring taking on the Predator Don Fry, as Heath Herring is the 17th ranked heavyweight in Pride FC. Don Fry is the 25th heavyweight in Pride FC. As Heath Herring, really his career on Pride FC has been interesting. Started off 0-2 against Mark Coleman and Greg Wicken, 2 high-level heavyweight wrestlers. Then beat Rico Rodriguez, took on Fedor at American Bushido 8. Won a split decision win over Rafael Carino, then lost in the second round of the heavyweight Grand Prix against Rico Rodriguez to a Darce choke. And now, here against Don Fry, which it looks like he's going to win. You know, all the Blue SF picks have him winning, and he's the large margin favorite. But I would not count out Don Fry. He might be 41 years old, but he has beaten some, interesting names in Mark Coleman recently. Tsuyoshi Kashika, Fabrizio Verdum, Bob Sapp, Oleg Takratov, Yoshihiro Takayama. So out of that list, he's, let's see, Takayama's still there. He's going to take on Brock Lesnar here in a couple episodes in the future. Oleg Takratov's gone. Bob Sapp's in rings. He'll probably be back, though. He looks like, I think he won his first fight in rings, so he's probably going to be back. Verdum has not been what Verdum becomes yet. And Tsuyoshi Kashika, again, another guy who's not a part of Pride of Sea anymore. And Mark Coleman has never really been the best of guys in Pride of Sea for us. So just kind of crazy how far he, and especially coming out against Naoya Ogawa in that fantastic fight in the Grand Prix, the first ever Grand Prix we did, Grand Prix 2000, the openweight Grand Prix, which Ogawa, won, but it was still a fantastic fight. Again, losing to Mark Coleman in the beginning, and then taking on a terror in Andrei Arlovski and getting TKO'd in the first round. I just don't see Don Fry, if it gets taken to the ground early, he's probably going to be in trouble, but if he catches him with that right hand, could be all she wrote for the Texas Crazy. Iron Egg, Kazuki Vegeta taking on Roman Savachka, as Roman Savachka is the large margin favorite. Blurcast hat picks 7-0 as well. Here's a guy in Roman Savachka who is 0-3 in Pride of Sea. If he loses here, he's gone. He's going to rings. Really, he's coming off a 4-fight losing streak, with Mark Kerr at, losing to Mark Kerr not once but twice in rings, and also losing to Greg Wiccan. But he's taking on some of the best in the heavyweight division. And Pete Williams, Fedor, and Josh Barnett. Now with Kazuki Vegeta, maybe someone a little bit closer to his level. Obviously, Kazuki Vegeta, the man who survived Mirko Krokop. He's beaten Alexei Olenek as well, and Tom Erickson, and even Alistair Overeem. He's beaten some big names in the beginning of his of the save in 2001-2002. But as of late, though, Alistair Overeem got his win back over him. He's lost to Fedor and Big Ben Rothwell, which Big Ben Rothwell's looking like he's going to be a problem in the heavyweight division. As far as, he's beaten guys like Fedor, and he's beaten some top-level guys. But, this could be a huge win for both guys. Both guys could use this win. I wouldn't count out Kazuki Vegeta, but I just feel like Roman Savachka, he's been needing a win. He's going to get his first win there tonight. As Shinyoki taking on Katsuya Inoue. As Inoue trains at Abiani Combat Club, which Inoue has an overall record of 3-0 against other members of that team, having a great record against the Abiani Combat Club. Katsuya Inoue has won 3 of his last 5 fights by decision, but hasn't won since April 2005. It's 2 years since he's had a win. He's 0-2 in Pride of Sea, or as 1-2 rather in Pride of Seas. He beat Scott Hines in the lightweight Grand Prix, then took on BJ Penn, then just lost to Masvidal last year at Bushido Osaka 2. He's beaten Daisuke Nakamura though, so at least he's gotten some names of value in Katsuya Inoue, but Shinya Oki, on the other hand, 2-3 in Pride of Seas, taking on some, lost to Glyson Tebow, lost to Tetsuya Kawajiri, and Kenny Florian, but he's beaten Jorge Masvidal, whereas Katsuya Inoue did not beat him, so he's got that over him. They both have beaten Daisuke Nakamura. Should be an interesting lightweight battle. Shinya Oki does have the advantage. Bloodcast that picks up at 6-1 with Michael, the lone backer for Katsuya Inoue. It's a tough one to call because I think they're pretty even. I would probably hedge my bets to Shinya Oki, though. Just him coming off a recent win over Masvidal. He's coming in with momentum. But who knows, though? As Mike Quick Swick versus Drew the Master Fickett, as they fought once before at MFC 2 in 2001, as Drew Fickett won by submission, as Swick trains in Minnesota Martial Arts Academy. Fickett has an overall record of 0-1 against other members of that team. Fickett has won 3 of his last 5 fights by decision, but Mike Quick Swick has not won since May of 2005. Another guy who's coming off a 2-year losing streak. Swick has a 5-inch reach advantage, though. Blurk SF picks have it to Drew Fickett slightly. This one's a close one to call, because I think Mike Quick Swick is 8-6. As the only one's over Frank Trigg in Pride of Sea, which is not great. But he's had good and great fights for the last 5 fights. He's a guy who's going to deliver it. And their last fight was good and went to the 3rd round. Looks like right at the end of the fight, Drew Fickett caught him with a rear naked choke. He's a guy who's beaten Chad Saunders, Thiago Alves. He's I would love to see Mike Quickswick do well because I love Mike Quickswick. I just love his style, him being a kickboxing and in the welterweight division. He just had to take on some high level wrestlers like guys like John Fitch, and even losing to Nick Diaz at his final conflict 2005. It's crazy as he didn't have a fight in 2006, but now here in 2007 he gets his fight in a rematch against Drew Fickett. Who Drew Fickett on the other hand is also has had a couple of losses his way in Pride FC. 0-2, lost to Jason Von Flue and Diego Sanchez, some fucking savages. Really, his only losses have been against some savages, though. I mean, Sean Pearson, John Alicio, and obviously Von Flue and Diego Sanchez in Pride FC. He's beaten Chris Lytle, he's beaten Joe Scarlo, and he's obviously the Mike Quickswick win, and he's beaten Gideon Ray. Just not really a big name, but still a nice level win. He's beaten Jay Estrada, looks like, in UFC 76. I mean, for a guy who was 5-2 in the UFC, didn't really have a lot of great fights, and still, Diego Sanchez brought the fight to him, though, at least. And I think, Mike Quickswick's going to do the same thing, bring the fight to him. Hopefully, it's not just a grapple fest. We shall see, though. As Kichi Kunamoto taking on the Korean Ice pick, Jae-Suk Lim. Jae-Suk Lim, I think, is going to kill poor Kunamoto here. He's 3-2, 1-1 in Pride FC. He lost to Dan Hardy in his debut, but he beat Kaito Nakamura. He took on Jay Hara on his debut into MMA at Pancrase and lost to that one, obviously, because Jay Hara's pretty much a savage. But, I don't see Kichi Kunamoto coming out of this one with a win. He just lost to Paul Daly in February. Don't see him winning here. This is definitely going to be a win for Jae-Suk Lim. I'd be shocked if Kunamoto gets the win there. Then Ryan Diamond Healy taking on Nate Diaz. This is Ryan Healy getting fed to Nate Diaz here. He's 8-4, 1-2 in Pride FC. He just beat Spencer Kingfisher by split decision. He's lost to Gleison Debow, Sean Shirk, Mac Danzig, and also Joe Hurley. And that was in a local show. He beat Andy Wang. That's hilarious. As Gleison Debow, obviously you weren't going to beat him. Losing to Sean Shirk, especially Sean Shirk in 2005, not kind of like in his prime Sean Shirk, is a little bit, that's not a good sign for Ryan Healy. Then Nate Diaz, on the other hand, 2-0, beat Cole Miller in his debut in January of this year. He's going to fight now Ryan Healy and probably get another win. But again, usually it's the heavyweight guys who I try to, when I feed them tomato cans, the tomato can somehow comes out on top. So that's the thing I got to worry about. Will the tomato can rise above the occasion? In this case, in Ryan Healy, and beat Nate Diaz, or will Nate Diaz get another win under his belt? We shall see. As he has minus 300 on the betting alliance, plus 230 for Ryan Healy. Mixed martial artist, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu boxing style for Nate Diaz. Portland, Oregon, Stockton, California, long way from home. Has 6 foot 161, 6'1", 161 rather. Both young. Should be interesting though. Should be interesting. Referee Yuji Shimada is a referee. Ringside judges. They begin as touch gloves. Clinch up, start jacking for position. Looks like Healy's actually won out on the clinch advantage, but then Diaz wrestles him, takes control of it. Look at the muscle picking strips. He does so. Now he's going to pin. Looking to sweep the leg. He does an excellent outside leg trip. Sweeps Healy down to the mat, trying to pass guard. Does so. He passes the side control. Fairly easy, too. Now looking to get mount. Oh, he's in mount. And looking for an armbar. Oh, Healy not only defends it, but also stacks Diaz and hits him with several punches before getting side control. That was a good job by Ryan Healy. Pounds away, but is unable to land many clean shots on Diaz. Now trying to transition to half guard as Diaz. Throws a few strikes, clearly just slowing things down so he can catch his breath. Looking to he struggles, but manages to come out from half guard to full guard as Diaz. Maybe Diaz can do something from the bottom here. Oh, looking for a triangle choke. Blocks it. As fires off a few punches. Looking for another triangle choke. Blocks that again. That's the thing about Nate Diaz. Dangerous off his back. Very, very dangerous. As he's trying to pound on Diaz, but all the bullets come to be dealt with. He loses his guard while defending the strikes, and Healy's left standing in front of him now. As Diaz is allowed to stand back up, Healy simply stepped away. That's probably for the best. I think Healy's probably, if he had an advantage, which I don't think he does in this fight, it would probably be standing compared to. And then there we got Nate Diaz talking some trash. Both fighters come together. As there's a right jab that has his left hand absorbed on the gloves as Diaz. And there's a good angle for Healy that hits a nice one too. Diaz moves in and out of range, hoping to tempt his opponent to a reckless strike and leaving him open to start some grappling. Quick punch doesn't hit though, moves in fast with the clinch. Does Diaz, looking to push him up against ropes. He does so, looking for another trip. He's got it. Inside leg trip this time. Fires off some punches. They're not throwing with any great force. There's some left hands from Diaz. Obviously the southpaw doesn't land any significant shots. Pushes away Diaz away while defending the strikes. Now he's on his back, watching Diaz comes into the down position. Healy moves quickly, scrambling for position before Diaz can get a hold of him. The scramble ends with both fighters back on their feet, facing each other. Diaz, very tentative, pokes out a quick punch that lands, a quick jab. There's a nice jab on the right hand from Healy. Both fighters seem to have the same idea. They come together in a clinch. Healy looks like he's gotten the best of the clinch. There's a knee strike to the body from Ryan Healy. Trying to push him against the ropes. He does so. Looking for maybe going down low, grabbing both legs for a takedown. He's got it. Diaz is on his back. And that's the end of the round. Interesting performance there for Ryan Healy, coming back in the end of the round to get that takedown. He landed a lot of shots. I felt like Nate Diaz, if he could have got that triangle, obviously, it would have been it. He was doing great there in the beginning. The end of the round looked like Ryan Healy started to figure out Nate Diaz. But, as far as who won that round, obviously off of statistics, it looks like Ryan Healy's winning this one, as he landed more shots. Diaz did do a lot more takedowns, did a lot more passes. Felt like he was in control for the majority of the round. That's tough. I would like to actually say Nate Diaz won that round. Probably in the minority in that. But I just felt like he was in control for most of the round. Had more takedowns. Just felt like he won the round. But that's tough. I also went for submissions as well. Went for the triangles. So the second round now, Healy looked like he was about to step in and grapple, but Diaz took the initiative. There's two right hands, but Healy avoids the big left. Three-punch combo fails to trouble Healy, and still moving well. He's definitely breathing a little deeper now. Diaz looked like he was about to shoot in, but Healy stepped in fast and clinched with him, trying to muscle up against the ropes. He does so. Look at go down low and grab both legs. He's got the takedown. He's got side control too. Fires off some punches. He catches his breath, blocks the attempt to pull guard. Looking for a knee bar. Doesn't allow it though. Trying to move the guard, but Healy doesn't allow it. Healy punches down at Diaz, but they're easily taking on the gloves. Blocks the transition to guard. Pounds away, but doesn't inflict much damage on Diaz. He's trying to pull guard on Healy, but doesn't get in with the attempt. Minute left now. Healy keeps Diaz guessing with a few quick strikes. He takes that opportunity, manages to pull half guard. Pounds away, but Diaz doesn't jump with the strikes. Man, that is not a great round for Nate Diaz. That was all Ryan Healy. And that's what I get, man. These tomato cans, when I throw them in there against these young guys, and they just somehow find a way, it seems like. So Nate Diaz is going to have to probably finish this round, because the way I would assume they judged it, I'm assuming they gave Healy the first and the second, so now Diaz is going to finish the fight. As two fighters get up close to wrestling for position, manage to keep control of the clinch. There's a nice knee strike from the grapple, catches Diaz to the side of the stomach, trying to wrestle Diaz backwards against ropes. He does kind of back. Looking for the takedown, and he's got it, but Diaz tries to hook in a guillotine off the takedown. Oh, looks like he's got a guillotine applied. Healy works his hand free, though, and pulls it free, and before it can fully be sunk in. And that might have been Nate Diaz's last desperate attempt to win this fight, it looks like. There's a couple of short punches sharp, short punches to the side of the face from Ryan Healy. Looking for a triangle, though, on the bottom, but pulls free of it, does Ryan Healy. As looking for another triangle choke, gets blocked again. As Healy's just kind of laying on top of him, throwing strikes. Another arm triangle. Blocks it. Yuji Shimada stands back up with 12 seconds left, basically. Diaz wanting the grapple, comes forward willing to take some shots if it gets close enough to grapple. Diaz gets a hold of him without even taking one shot in, and that's the end of the fight. Man, again, Ryan Healy doing a great job from the top. It's, crazy that Nate Diaz had the submission attempt actually be successful with that guillotine choke. But Ryan Healy got out of it. That's just tough. Tough for Nate Diaz. I think he lost that fight. Oh, no. He got the win by unanimous decision. All right. It's an interesting one. Because obviously you see there how, Ryan Healy had more takedowns. He didn't have as many submission attempts. And, Diaz was doing a great job passing guard. But as far as strikes landed, it wasn't even close. Even landed some power shots from the knees and the clinch and the grapple. That's tough, man. That's because, really, that third round, if you're going to say Nate Diaz controlled it from being on the ground, on his back, trying for triangle chokes, I could get that. I could probably see that logic there. And then if you give him the first, which, like I did, then maybe you're like, all right, he did win the round, or he did win the fight. But I thought for sure it'd be a little bit more of a contest there. Maybe even Ryan Healy had enough to steal it, but now unanimous decision all the way for Nate Diaz. He's 3-0, 8-5 for Ryan Healy, which, that was a valiant effort. Statistically, it looks like he won the fight, but I'd say it's just kind of, if you watching the fight, Nate Diaz had the first round, I think he won that third one with the guillotine and then also the triangle choke attempts. But that's just me. As Nate Diaz thanks all of his sponsors for backing him. Also thanks all of his family, friends, and supporters. He's then asked who he'd like to face next. He responds, he calls out Joe Lozon, saying he will kick his ass. What a fight that would be. Obviously, two credible lightweights. So, I mean, as far as what they would become later on. But, right now, obviously, early on in their careers, some fight of the night performers in Joe Lozon and Nate Diaz, that would be very, very exciting. As last prelim fight, Kichi Kunamoto taking on the Korean Ice Pick. Jae-Suk Lim, 3-2, 2-1, plus 190, minus 250, pretty close. At least closer than the last prelim fight. Osaka, Japan. Seoul, South Korea. 5'11", 183, 5'10", 183, 26, 27. Both guys got no team. As we'll see what happens in this one. Big John McCarthy's a referee. Ringside judges. Here we go. They touch gloves. Exchange of strikes. But nothing significant lands. Jab his wife and Kunamoto, but then lands the right hand. Jae-Suk Lim gets a hold of Kunamoto, looking for a sweep. He's got the excellent outside leg trip, sweeps him down on the ground. He's left on his back, pulling guard. Is Kichi Kunamoto not allowing his opponent any room to work with submissions-wise. Jae-Suk Lim keeps close contact and throws short, stinging strikes. Tries to pull Lim in close, peppering with short strikes. He can't do it, though. Attempts to pass guard. Passes guard, but he can't secure side control as Kunamoto starts to scramble. Scramble sees Kunamoto up first, only to be grabbed and wrestled and sweeps immediately. Attempts that leg sweep trip to put Kunamoto on the ground. Does not happen, though. Kunamoto stops that attempted trip, then using the wrestling to take control of the grapple and put him up against the ropes. Looking to go down low and grab both legs. He's got it. Got the takedown. Kunamoto is in half guard. As he begins trying to get his leg free out of half guard. Almost gets side control, but Lim was ready for it, and the scramble ensues. Kunamoto manages to come out on top back in half guard. Throws a few right hands to the body. Lim using underhook to work some separation, then quickly scrambles. Kunamoto's too quick, though, able to grab side control before Lim's up first. Throws a few strikes, clears, slowing things down, and gets his breath. Tries to transition to guard, but can't manage it. Throws a few strikes without him. Blocks his in, pull guard, looking for an armbar. Lim stops that from being applied. Tries to pull guard on Kunamoto, but doesn't get any with the attempts. Looking for another arm triangle. Again, fights off the arm triangle. Lim tries to pull guard on Kunamoto, but doesn't get any with the attempts. Kunamoto fires off a few punches, but there aren't any great force. Blocks his attempt to pull guard. No progress being made. Referee John McCarthy stands it back up. Lim aggressively comes forward, willing to risk getting hit. That gets close enough to grapple. Punch from Kunamoto fails to land. Lim gets a hold of Kunamoto, and now looking to go down low and sweep him. Does so. Great, excellent inside leg trip. Sees Kunamoto get thrown to the mat. Kim's left in guard. A couple punches designed to keep him guessing. Throws out some punches, but Lim leans back to avoid him, now allowing his opponent any room to work with submission-wise. Again, Lim keeping close contact, throwing some short, stinging strikes. Tries to pull him in close and pepper him with short strikes, but he can't. Just slowing things down. Just trying to probably stay on top of him and end out the round would be my guess. But Kunamoto from the bottom pulls him in close, hits a couple of short, sharp punches to the side of the head. Clinging very tight to Kunamoto there to end out the round is Jae-Suk Lim. That's a tough one, but I definitely think Jae-Suk Lim came out on top. They both were successful in passing. Kunamoto attempted some submissions, which I like that, but he tried to finish the fight, where Jae-Suk Lim was just kind of staying on top of him. That's a close one, though. That's very, very close. I would give the slight advantage to Jae-Suk Lim, but if you have Kunamoto winning that round, I don't fault you for that. That's a close one. That's going to be a tough one to call. I got a feeling this is going to distance, and someone's going to get fucked. As bell rings for the second round, Kunamoto throws two quick punches, but doesn't hit either of them. Looking for the takedown as Kunamoto stops it with a great sprawl from Lim. He's forcing him down on his hands and knees. Turned it up, so Kunamoto can do nothing but give up his back now. Takes advantage of the pause of Kunamoto scrambling backwards, and Lim gets back control instead and looking to take him down. It's not easy, but he's got it. He's got him down to the ground. Ends up turtled up with Lim on top of him, holding him with a waist lock. Kim's too slow as Kunamoto gets back up, but does again get back control again, trying to drag him back down. It's a short struggle, but Kunamoto simply doesn't have enough to defend it and soon take him down. Takes his back as well. This is bad news for Kunamoto as he's trying to move Lim off his back, but he can't do it. Looking for the rear naked choke, fights it off. As long as Lim doesn't get his hooks in, well, there we go. Looking for the rear naked choke now. Oh, maybe not. He's just pounding away. Just pounding away now for looking for the rear naked choke. It defends it well, though. Kunamoto trying to break the hooks apart. Looking forward again to end out the round. Does not allow the arm underneath the chin. What a great job to survive. He's got a third round, but if Jake Suk Lim, if he had him winning the first round, he definitely won that second round. If he's just got to finish him at this point. If I'm Kunamoto, you got to go for broke in these 5 minutes. Looking for a takedown attempt from Lim, as Kunamoto partially defends it, ends up hopping on one foot, but the other one is held by Jake Suk Lim, trying to push him up against the ropes. Looking for the trip takedown. Great inside leg trip. Sees Kunamoto get thrown to the mat, and Lim is left in guard. Not giving his opponent any room to work with here, as Lim keeps close body-to-body control while throwing some short strikes to the head and the body. Kunamoto pulls Lim down and close and hits a short punch to the side of the head. Look at the pass guard and gets side control. Passes guard but loses the control momentarily and scrambles. The scramble leaves Kunamoto on his back pulling guard. Not allowing his opponent any room to work with submission-wise. Lim is keeping close contact, throwing some short stinging strikes. Kunamoto throws out some punches. Lim has to lean back to avoid them again. Fires off a handful of punches, but again easily being blocked with gloves. Lim blocks Kunamoto as he tries to sweep from guard. For the moment, Lim is content to throw a couple punches to the body. Lim blocks Kunamoto as he tries to sweep. No progress being made. They stand him back up. Kunamoto is starting to breathe a little heavier now, as is Jake Suk Lim. Minute left. There's a quick punch. Doesn't land, though, from Kunamoto. Lim again is able to take him down, maybe. Nope. It's unsuccessful. Kunamoto maintaining a good solid base. Looking for it again. Stops it, and then using the wrestling to take control of the grapple. As he doesn't let himself be driven back, though, Jake Suk Lim. Looking for the takedown again. He gets the takedown to end the round. And, man, what a fight. These prelims. Very, very exciting prelims. And Jake Suk Lim went for broke. I don't know how many takedowns I think he went for this entire fight. I'm going to guess close to double digits. I'm going to say like 8 or 9. He landed a lot more shots. The first round was very, very close. Kiichi Kunamoto gave it his all in his third round. Just wasn't that enough. As Jake Suk Lim's going to win by unanimous decision. And, that's a great win for him. 6 for 10, rather. Yeah, he went for 10. As a great percentage there, 60%. Was all guys were 100% on the ground passes. I can't believe Jake Suk Lim didn't finish him in the second, though. I think, looking back, just kind of crazy. It shows, Kunamoto's a goddamn warrior out there. Fought it off, survived the entire round, and they tried to get something going in the third. Just was not enough. Jake Suk Lim thanks all of his sponsors for backing him. Also thanks his family, friends, and supporters. Says he has a lot of respect for Kiichi Kunamoto and praises his toughness. Now on to the main card as the opener. The first fight, we have Mike Quick-Swick taking on Drew Fickett. Kickboxing, wrestling, judo, Minnesota Martial Arts Academy, Hammer House. Can Mike Quick-Swick avenge that loss against Drew the Master Fickett 6 years ago? Or will he fall yet again to Drew Fickett as, 12-4, 8-6, San Jose, California, Tucson, Arizona, 27-28, 6'1", 183, 5'10", 183. The 5-inch reach advantage for Mike Quick-Swick should pay off for him. And so we'll see how this one plays out. Iwan Takawa is our referee as ringside judges. Round 1 begins. Fickett moves in and out of range, hoping to tempt Swick into a reckless strike and leave an opening. Start grappling. A flurry of 4 punches from Swick sees 2 of them landing, but he can't connect on the head kick. Swick confidently moves in closer. May have been aiming to get in close, but Swick aggressively took the initiative. Can't hit the set left jab, then lands the right hand. Fickett shoots in for the takedown. He's got it. It's a single leg. Swick is taken down. Trying to pass guard, get better position. Yep, too much for Swick there. Passing, gets side control, looking for the Kimura. Doesn't allow the Kimura to be applied, though. As he's fired off some punches. Blocks attempted sweep. Fickett's just doing a great job. Looking for an armbar now. Swick blocks it again. Trying to pull guard, snap and Fickett tries to go for mount. Fights as Swick's fighting off the attempted mount off, and they wind up scrambling. Somehow leaves Swick underneath Fickett in a north-south position. Fickett loses control of Swick and scrambles again. Fickett manages to come out on top with Swick pulling guard. As Mike doing a great job of trying to get out of... but it's just Drew Fickett's too skilled for him on the ground. Another pass. Looking for an armbar. Swick stops that. Counters the attempt by Swick to swing him back by taking his back, too. Wow, what a great job by Fickett. Looking for the rear naked choke, and again, Swick defends it. Drew Fickett has what? He's done Kimuras. He's done armbars. He's went for the rear naked choke. He tried everything in this first round, and Swick just cannot. It won't go. It won't give up. Looking for the rear naked choke again. Doesn't allow the arm to be underneath the chin, trying to roll, but Fickett doesn't budge. He's got both hooks in now. Looking to flatten him out. He's got it. Fickett flattens out Mike Quick Swick with a rear naked choke. It's in deep and forcing the tap in the first round. That's tough. I mean, Drew Fickett, what a great game plan and what a great display of his groundwork there. Just, he really was the master of the ground. That was crazy. Poor Mike Quick Swick, though, 8-7. Losing it now to Nick Diaz. Obviously now Drew Fickett and John Fitch. I would love to see him take on a stand-up guy. Maybe that's what we got to do. We got to start doing better matchups for him. But he's had good performances. He's had good and great fights. Exciting guy. And hopefully we can get a win for him because I love Mike Quick Swick. As Drew Fickett, I mean, at least he gets his first win now in Pride FC as well. He thanks everyone connected to Hammer House, helping him prepare for the fight, and his sponsors supporting him financially. He's asked about the finish. Fickett says that he was very confident about getting the win once the opportunity presented itself. He has a lot of confidence in his submission game. As Shinya Aoki is going head-to-head with Katsuya Inoue now. 7-3, 7-2. Very similar records, similar fighters. Tokyo, Japan. Nagasaki, Japan. 5'9", 161. 5'11", 161. Submission Wrestling, Shudo. Takada Dojo, Abiani Combat Club. -230 for Shinya Aoki, though. And I believe that he should be the favorite. I think Vegas got it right. That's Katsuya Inoue. -180. This should be an interesting lightweight fight. And, they both are pretty much well-rounded, but more so on the ground, especially in Shinya Aoki's case. Shuji Shimada's a referee, ringside judges. As both, the crowd is buzzing, as obviously both fighters, local fighters, for the during the entrances as the battle's about to begin. The fight begins. Touch gloves. Inoue shoots in on Aoki, but it's a great sprawl, though, pushing him down on his hands and knees. Looking for a short knee strike to the head. Looking for that knee strike, but they can't keep control of Inoue, who's able to spring back up. They exchange a few strikes, nothing significant lands, though. Can't connect with the step strikes and hits Aoki with the beauty of a straight right. Aoki isn't rushing in, worried about potentially getting hit if he gets close enough to grapple. There's a punch, but Aoki was equal to it. Takes a chance and grabs Inoue into a clinch, trying to use to lock his legs around his opponent's waist, wanting to pull him down to the ground. He does so. He sucks him into a guard. Inoue is now on the ground, looking for an armbar from the bottom. He can't secure it. One thing about these fights so far, a lot of guys are trying to go for submissions. You'll love to see it. Trying to move from out of rubber guard, but Inoue doesn't allow it. In guard, Inoue just condensed just a couple of punches in the body, looking to just stay on top here. Aoki is in trouble with the strikes, looking for another armbar from the bottom. Again, Inoue defends it. Throws a few strikes, clearly slowing things down. Looking for a triangle now. Doesn't let him have that either. As he's finding away with punches, but Aoki doesn't take any undue damage. Inoue gets pushed back. He's left standing in front of Aoki now. He's no longer in guard. And Inoue's now trying to secure a ground position. Aoki's too quick, though, slipping away from Inoue and starting to scramble. Scramble results in Inoue being on his back, pulling guard. Now Aoki's in top, looking to pass side control. He does so, but it's only to half guard instead of side control. Aoki trying to get his leg free and out of half guard and get better position. Aoki's just too skilled, going from half guard to side control now. Throws a few right hands, mainly just trying to catch his breath, looking for mount. He's got it. As, he was going for it, rather, but Inoue starts to scramble. As Aoki takes his back instead. That was a lightning quick move there for Aoki to take his back instead of taking the mount and looking for the rear naked choke, but Inoue defends that as well. Trying to move Aoki off his back, but he can't. He's got both hooks in. This has got to be it for the rear naked choke. And again, like the last fight we just saw, with 9 minutes into the fight, a rear naked choke ends this one. A Shinya Aoki getting the win. What a fight. I mean, this has been quite the television show. I mean, there hasn't been a stinker yet. This has been a lot of fun to see. 8-3 for Shinya Aoki. 7-3 for Katsuya Inoue. What a fight, though. That was awesome. Giving thanks, Shinya Aoki praises his team at Takada Dojo, is very responsive to all the fans who came out to support him, praises Inoue for the tough fight. So we got some more wrestlers. Kazuki Fujita versus Roman Savachka. Can Roman Savachka finally break the losing streak? And, 4 straight losses. Can he finally beat it and finally get a win in Pride FC? Or Ironhead get the win here? It does not look like it. -730 for Roman Savachka, +580 for Kazuki Fujita. 36 years old, Kazuki Fujita. 29 years old, Roman Savachka, both 240. Wrestling, Sambo, Red Devil Sport, Paresta. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. Referee, this bout, Yuji Shimada. Judges at ringside. Fujita gets a good reaction from the fans as he enters the arena. He's fighting from a home crowd tonight. Here we go. They touch gloves. Takedown 10 from Roman Savachka. And he's got the takedown. Fujita pulls guard. Looking to catch his breath. Savachka is credential to throw a couple punches to the body. Fujita gets some separation, tries to scramble, as Savachka is seizing that opportunity, as Fujita too slow, gets caught inside, and he'll look for an armbar. Fujita blocks it, tries to move the guard, but Roman Savachka doesn't allow it. There's a knee strike to the ribs. Throws a few right hands to the body. Tries to move to guard, but again, Savachka doesn't allow it. Another knee to the ribs. Keeps a hold of him. There's a third knee to the ribs. Trying to hit a knee strike, but Vegeta squirms away as the blow's only glancing. Now, from side control, looking to get a mount. He doesn't get mount, only because Vegeta rolls and gives up his back. We're going to get a third, a rear naked choke, as he blocks the hooks from being taken as a halfway point. Now he's got both hooks in. Oh, they're pounding away now, looking for a ground and pound instead as Roman Savachka pounding away, having serious difficulty of surviving them as Kazuki Vegeta. But looking for the rear naked choke now. Oh, and he fights off the rear naked choke. That was probably not a good idea. As he's trying to break free of the hooks. They're too tight. Looking for the rear naked choke, and he's got it. It is another rear naked choke finish for Roman Savachka, and he gets the win in the first round. Another good fight, another good performance there as Roman Savachka gets his win. It took someone being a plus 580 underdog, but he did it. 22-12 now. 9-6 for Kazuki Vegeta. As Savachka gives a name check to everyone at Red Devil Sport, all of his favorite sponsors, all of his friends, family, and supporters. Moving on, the Texas Crazy Horse, Heath Herring taking on the Predator Don Fry. If there was going to be a stinker, it would probably be this one. But Heath Herring is minus 880. That is crazy. For Heath Herring, this is a much-needed win. It hasn't went his way here in Pride FC, but if he can get this win here, maybe things can start going his way. As Greg Jackson's Mixed Martial Arts, Minnesota Martial Arts Academy, Wrestling Boxing for Don Fry, Tucson, Arizona, Amarillo, Texas, 20-8, 17-6. This one's going to be finished pretty early. But again, I give Don Fry a fighting chance if it's still standing. We shall see. Big John McCarthy's our referee. Ringside judges. Round 1 begins. Yep. 8 seconds in. Took the takedown, and he's got it. Trying to pass guard. Can't do anything in the pass. He's left in side control. Looking for Kimura. Fry fights it off. As he tries to sweep Herring, but only succeeds in giving up his back. And now we're going to get another rear naked choke. He's trying to turn him over, but he can't do it. Now he's got the body triangles. Yep. He's flattening him out with that one. Yep. Another rear naked choke finish in 3 minutes. This time for Heath Herring. What a performance. What a win. As it just dominated Don Fry the entire time. Poor Don Fry was definitely outmatched. That one was my bad. I thought Don Fry had a chance. He did not have a chance. I should have listened to Vegas as giving thanks. Heath Herring praises his team at Greg Jackson's Mixed Martial Arts. His favorite sponsor and all the fans who came out to support him. Looking at the replay of the finish, Heath Herring says that it was a part of the game plan. It has nothing, that he was waiting for the right opportunity. Yeah, 8 seconds in. It's the co-main event, which is crazy. We're already at the co-main event. Cristiano Marciello taking on Gleison Tebow in the co-main event in the lightweight division. 16-3, 16-4. Coconut Creek, Florida. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. As both obviously Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artists. As Presta, Meltage Fighting Systems. I would not count out Gleison Tebow. As that minus 290 wouldn't count it out. As minus 370 for Cristiano Marciello. As 10, this should be an interesting lightweight. I mean, there hasn't been a bad fight yet. Hopefully, this keeps the trend here in this co-main event. Again, Gleison Tebow, the way he fights, it could be a pretty boring style. Iwan Takawa is our referee. Our ringside judges. Opening bell. Marciello, deliberately, doesn't touch gloves. Conflict moves in closer, looking to throw some strikes. Using a left jab, but Tebow dodges a big right head kick that follows up. There's a left jab, but Tebow again evading the big punch. As he's able to grab him, trying to muscle up against the ropes. He's got him pinned. He's trying to maintain control, but Marciello wrestles his way out of it and circles back to the center. There's a left jab. Gleison Tebow avoids the kick to the body, though. There's a quick punch. Doesn't land, though. Seizing that opportunity. Gleison Tebow clinches, trying to wrestle Marciello backwards up against the ropes. Tebow can't do it, though. Marciello gets a more dominant position in the grapple. Looking to lock his legs around his opponent's waist and pull him down. Stuck him into the guard. Defended it, and then also took control of the grapple to Gleison Tebow as he's trying to push Marciello back up against the ropes. So you know what his game plan is. Smother him up against the ropes. They exchange trip onto the body for a minute. Looking to go down low and grab his opponent's legs, but he can't do it, though. As, again, looking to go down low and grab both legs out this time. But, again, Marciello maintaining a good solid base. Will they get 1 foot now? No, it is not happening. Showing great tenacity is Cristiano Marciello, pulling his leg free and able to circle out. It's easy to say that in the first round, but when you're 15 minutes of fighting and Gleison Tebow still laying the pressure on you, that's tough. Tebow, wanting to grapple, comes forward, and he appears to be willing to risk a few shots if he gets close enough to close the distance on him, as Marciello missing all of his strikes and combo in with a kick to the body. Tebow gets a hold of Marciello, trying to push him up against the ropes. Can't do it, though, as Marciello can't move him at all, is Gleison T-Bow finds himself being out-wrestled as well, wanting to take him down to the ground as Marcial attempts to drag T-Bow down into the ground. T-Bow cannot prevent it, gets sucked into the guard, looking for an arm. Can't take the arm, though. Fires off some punches. Marcial smothers T-Bow with a close control, stopping him from posturing up. As Marcial is controlled against the ground and able to shift T-Bow off of him. In guard, T-Bow throws a couple of punches designed to keep him guessing. And again, Marcial pulls T-Bow in close, scores a couple of punches to the side of the head, though. Is controlled against the ground and able to shift T-Bow off of him. As now T-Bow gets pulled in tight, stopping him from launching or posturing up. Any strikes or any attacks. So yeah, that one, I knew it. Gleison T-Bow's going to stop any great fight streak in his tracks. He hasn't been able to take him down, though. Which, and fair fucks to Cristiano Marciello. But he finally got kind of sucked into it. Did Cristiano Marciello sucked him into this guard at the end. But still, Gleison T-Bow is, I think he's probably winning this one. It's tough, though, at the same time. Because I think Cristiano Marciello, he hasn't been initiating too much. He's been doing a great job of stuffing the takedowns and getting out of predicaments, but I don't think he's doing enough as far as winning that round. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to take out Gleison T-Bow. It's just the way he is. It's a boring style, and it is what it is there. As the bell rings, round 2, 1-2 from Marcial fails to land. He fails to find over his jab, but he scores the right cross. Doesn't land any of the 3 strikes that he threw at T-Bow, which it looked like he was about to step in and grapple, but again, Marcial took the initiative first. There's a punch, but he fails to land. Shoots in for the takedown after the missed strike. Marcial partially defends it, ends up hopping on one foot while T-Bow has hold of the other one, looking to push him down low. But Marcial backed up against the ropes, can't really do much thanks to the control that Gleison T-Bow is exerting. 60 seconds sees them doing very little than the occasional short punches to the body. And looking for the takedown. Is not going to happen. Marcial doing a great job of stopping these takedowns. Unreal. He is a takedown stuffing machine right now. Trying to use some of his wrestling skills to prevent Marcial from attacking with dirty boxing. Trying to use some dirty boxing, but again, T-Bow using that wrestling skills to prevent any damage from happening. As trying to forward again, T-Bow wrestles his way out of trouble, manages to turn around, so then now Marcial is the one backed up against the ropes. Trying to maintain control, but Marcial wrestles way out of it and circles back to the center to end out the second round. Yeah, again, that's a close one. I would actually give that one to Marciello, thanks to stuffing the takedowns. I think it initiated more of the fight as well. It's going to be down to this third round now, as the last round looked like able to see T-Bow try to get in close, get some grappling started, but Marcial was more aggressive, took the initiative. A jab is wide from Marcial, and he lands a roundhouse kick to the body. Marcial closing the distance, obviously looking to strike. There's some small strikes and a fast leg kick, but Gleison T-Bow's equal to all of them. Starting to slow down now, perhaps conserving some energy. T-Bow's also slowing down just a little, starting to get into the gas tank. There's a weak flicked left-hand jab from Gleison T-Bow combo that ends with a head kick attempt. Fails to land for Marciello as Marcial closes in on the distance on T-Bow, looking to unleash some strikes. Jab lands, but again, Gleison T-Bow evading the big shot. Like much of this round, or much of this fight, he's done that, as Gleison T-Bow steps in, seemingly willing to take some strikes. That means because gets close enough to grapple. Connects to the jab, but T-Bow evades the big punch, and then he gets a hold of him, trying to push him against the ropes. He can't do it. As looking to take this fight to the ground, Marcial tries to pull T-Bow down to the ground. Gets pulled down, sucked into the guard. Halfway point, looking for an armbar from the bottom. T-Bow defends it. Time slips away as T-Bow just keeps him down on the ground. Just going to smother him. Minute left. A couple punches to the body. Throws out some punches. Again, just being smothered to end out the fight. And probably going to be your winner. I don't know, though. Actually, here's the thing. I think Marcial, with him sucking him into the guard, going for this submission, it's pretty close, 5-3, but T-Bow was on top of him for a good bit of that round. I actually think Marciello won that round as well. So, he won the second and the third, but then T-Bow, I think, had the dominant, first round with the 10-minute round. So, really, this could be a draw, or it could be a Gleison T-Bow win. See how the judges go. Oh, looks like we might have a split, and we have a split decision win for Cristiano Marciello. As, yeah, that was not a great fight at all. I think if you look at the entire fight, though, with Marciello stuffing the takedowns really gave him that advantage for sure. And it's close on strikes, definitely for sure as far as standing. And then on the ground, T-Bow landed more, but that's because he was on top more. But Marciello sucked him into his guard twice in the first round and in the third. So, I mean, if you want to count that as a takedown, I wish that was counted as a takedown, but obviously it's not. And it's just the way it is. But a very poor fight. No shit, with Gleison Tebow being involved with it. But now on to the main event. Maybe they can save this card as giving thanks. Cristiano Marciello praises his team. Well, I wouldn't say save this card. Really, that co-main event killed this card as he praises his team at Peresta and is very responsive, and all the fans came out to support him. Interviewer asked who he'd be interested in fighting next. He replies that Josh Thompson would be someone that'd be a tough challenge, but would be one to be interested in trying. Yeah, the lightweight division is stacked. As the middleweight main event, Frank Shamrock taking on Lee Lightning Murray. We didn't even go through kind of the fight history for these two men. As Lee Murray coming off a 2-fight win streak. He's only lost was to Nate Marcotte and Philip Miller at MFC. The Nate Marcotte fight was pretty good. He's beaten David Loazo. He's beaten Dean Lister, Scott Smith, Damian Maya. He's beaten some big names, that is for sure. Benji Radish, as a guy who can kind of do it all. More of a kickboxer, though. Looking to stand up with you. But he is not terrible on the ground. Not at all. I mean, he beat Damian Maya, for God's sakes. It's no small feat. And then with Frank Shamrock, more of another combination guy. He lost to Nate Marcotte. So both guys have come off a loss against Marcotte. Obviously, Frank Shamrock has beaten the bigger names and beating Dan Henderson in a middleweight title fight. He's also beaten Alex Stiebling, Ice Cold Igor, and Alan Goes, which is no small feat. Alan Goes. Therefore, he's beaten some names, and Alan Goes. He has Enson Inoue, or at least Alan Goes. He's beaten Rampage Jackson. He's beaten. Trying to think who else he's beaten. Just off the top of my head, I remember the Rampage. He beat him not once but twice. Enson Inoue, when he was Enson Inoue, was one of the top guys in the world. Beaten Anderson Silva as well. Beat Tito at UFC. That was actually in the mod. That was pre-mod rather. At UFC 22. Yeah, I mean, just kind of crazy. All things considered, how these two men have very different careers. You have Frank Shamrock, the veteran who's been a former middleweight champion, has taken on a lot of the best, a former number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, number 1 lightweight in the world, the third middleweight in the world, and now with Lee Murray, even though he's 29, he's only had 16 fights, and the 20th light heavyweight in the world, and the 16th middleweight in Pride FC. This is a big fight, and he's the odds-on favorite too, just kind of crazy, all things considered. The Pit, Lionsden, London, England, San Jose, California, 29-14-2, 14-2. This should be exciting. This should be a hell of a fight. Big John McCarthy's our referee, ringside judges. Here we go. They touch gloves. Murray steps in looking to unleash. Shamrock looked at England for a grapple, but couldn't take the initiative. There's a left jab as Shamrock evades the big right punch. A jab lands on Murray, but again, the big right punch follows up, misses. As Murray attacks with some strikes, there's a kind of jab that misses from Shamrock. A jab, and then a nice straight right hand. Stalking forward, pressuring Shamrock some more as Lee Murray tries to hit a jab, but misses. Murray hits a left hand, finds nothing but air on the big right. 2 fires engage with strikes, nothing significant lands though, moves in closer, ready to attack. Shamrock looking very tentative, pokes out a quick jab that hits. Can't connect to the jab that lands the right hand. Oh, there's a cut underneath the eye of Shamrock, missing all the strikes in the combo with a low kick to the legs. Gets a hold of him, does Frank Shamrock, looking to wrestle up against the ropes. He's got him pinned now, looking to go down low, grab both legs. Takedown doesn't work. Murray blocks it, then turns him now. Shamrock's the one against the ropes. Traps him up against the ropes, and punching on some dirty boxing as Lee Murray trying to keep him there, but Shamrock reverses this, so now he's back in control, looking to take him down. He's got him, and inside control too. Shamrock pounds away with right hands. Murray covers it up, only a couple manage to get through, blocks it again. Some punches that are taken on the gloves, blocks it into full guard. A couple of nasty looking punches go through from Frank Shamrock, doing a great job from side control. Very smart play as Murray waits for Shamrock to overcommit. He sweeps him sharply, creating a scramble for the position. But somehow, Frank Shamrock winds up on top, or winds up underneath rather, north-south of Lee Murray. Lee Murray losing control of Shamrock, who scrambles. Scramble results in Shamrock being on his back, pulling half guard. Punching down on Shamrock, they're easily taken on the gloves, blocks a attempt to sweep, fires off some punches, blocks another attempted sweep, keeps him guessing with some strikes. Looking for an underhook, looking to scramble. He's too quick though as Lee Murray gets, as he grabs side control before Shamrock can get back up. There's some right hands. Shamrock is in trouble with the strikes, trying to sweep from the bottom, doesn't budge Murray. Fires away with punches, but they do little in the way of damage. Tries to take his back, and he's got the rear naked choke, maybe to end out the round. Nope, and it's not it, as Lee Murray about stole that one from Frank Shamrock. I mean, I think he did win the round. It's close. I just felt like Lee Murray was in control for the majority of the round, even though Shamrock had the takedown. With the rear naked choke at the end of the round and the sweep too. It was a great job from Lee Murray to get out of that. Just felt like Lee Murray won it. It's close though. It's very, very close. It's going to come down to the end, as the corner man, and plus Lee Murray did some damage as well as goes to work on the cut on Shamrock between rounds. Here we go. Murray can't connect with the step strikes. So it catches Shamrock with a right roundhouse kick to the body. The two men throw quick punches, but it doesn't hit either of them. Or actually, Shamrock Lee Murray Jesus throws two quick punches, doesn't hit either of them. Shamrock's able to grab him, trying to push him against the ropes. He does so. Looking to go down low and grab his opponent's legs, can't do it though. Looking forward again, he's got the takedown this time. Fires off some punches that aren't thrown in great force. Those are a few relatively weak flicked right hands. Trying to pass guard, allows the pass, just a ploy. Scramble results in Shamrock up first. He's quick to wrestle Murray up against the ropes. Now looking to go down low again with a trip. Nope, not happening. As Shamrock can't get the trip, as Murray wrestles his way into a down position. Tries to use dirty boxing against Shamrock, but his opponent wrestling skills prevent any damage from happening. Again, looking for some dirty boxing, but again, Shamrock's wrestling nullifies any of that. Press against the ropes, some small strikes to the ribs there. Shamrock's trapped against the ropes. There's a short left uppercut. Tries to dirty box him, but Shamrock again out wrestling him and switches him, so now he's the one in control. Looking to go down low and grab both legs. Lee Murray doing a great job maintaining the solid base and stopping these takedowns in the second round. Yeah, I mean, again, I felt like Lee Murray there at the end. He was doing some uppercuts. He was landing, with some body kicks, and he was doing his thing. That one's a little tougher, though, because, Shamrock was trying for takedowns. He also had the ground pass, too. It's tough. It's tough, because I think Shamrock was in control for the majority of the round, and he, I think Frank Shamrock might have won that second round. As a final round, Shamrock wants to get some grappling started. Appears to be willing to get some, get close enough. Even that means risking some strikes, as those two quick punches, but again doesn't hit either of them, which that gives Shamrock the opportunity to get a hold of him. So using his wrestling skills, trying to push him against the ropes. He ends up back against the ropes. So going to go down low and grabs. Yep, there's the takedown. Looking for the pass, can't block the pass. Left in half guard. Throws off a few punches that aren't throwing any great force. Trying to transition to full guard, but can't manage it. Looking to pass half guard to get side control. Inside control. Keeps him guessing a few quick strikes. Blocks it into full guard. Looking for the mount. Desperately tries to fight the mount off. They find themselves scrambling for position. Murray's up first. Quickly grabs Shamrock. Push him against the ropes. Trying to dirty box him. But Shamrock again out wrestling him. Switching. So now he's in a dominant position. Looking to go down low and grab his opponent's legs. Can't take him down. Can't seem to work free either. Trying to go down low and grab his... just a takedown machine is Frank Shamrock right now. He just keeps on trying it. There's a nice short uppercut to end the... Oh, nope. There's a couple of more shots from Lee Murray to end out the round. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough. Don't think it's going to happen. Think that's going to be a win for Frank Shamrock. We'll see what the judges think. Oh, no, they gave it to Lee Murray. Alrighty. Again, he stuffed the takedowns really well. In the entire fight, he definitely outstruck him. It's close. Well, no. I don't know. It's very, very close. It's just a little quick math. I believe it's 40 and then to 39 with strikes with Frank Shamrock and Lee Murray. And Frank had more ground passes for sure. Couldn't do the sweep, though. Lee Murray did the sweep. It's tough, because I thought he won the first round in Lee Murray, so there's the 10-minute round. And then I also felt like maybe he could have stole the third round from him. That's tough. That's a tough one to call. But Lee Murray with a huge win over Frank Shamrock. I think if Shamrock could have had, more takedowns, obviously, and was able to keep control and just kind of... Because he did his part in the second round. Just that first round, he couldn't get it going. That's the toughest round, that's the biggest round. You need to win that one, the 10-minute round. And just, that was a good fight. That was a great card. Besides the fucking co-main event, as Lee Murray gives a name check to everyone connected at the pit. All of his various sponsors, all of his friends, favorite supporters. He's then asked who he'd like to face next. He responds by calling out Quentin Rampage Jackson, saying he will kick his ass. Man, we got some... That'd be another great fight, too. And, this card... Imagine what it would have been if it wasn't for the Cristiano Marciello Gleison T-Bell fight. You have good and great fights throughout the entire card. And a lot of first-round finishes. A lot of rear naked chokes, as you saw in the first round. And even then, I thought the prelims were very, very good. So, that was a very fun card. We're probably going to lose a lot, though. I saw the commercial ratings were not looking our way. Looks like Frank Shamrock and Lee Murray were not a bit of a draw, but that was a hell of a card, though. Man, who to give... man, that is the performance bonus to. That's a great question. Yeah, it's I'm probably gonna give it to Lee Murray. Probably, for I don't know though. It's tough. Tough. Maybe no performance bonus for this night. Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're gonna leave that one just to the fight of the night and the submission of the night. That's odd though. No KO tonight. That's very, very rare we see that on these cards. Given that we made $2 million, at least we have that. Another episode is in the books. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone.